In a country facing immense economic challenges, Malawi is currently engaged in a critical presidential election. The outcome of this vote will shape the future of one of the world's least developed nations, with far-reaching implications for its people. The election pits two old rivals against each other. President Lazarus Chakwera, 70, seeking a second term, and former President Peter Mutharika, 85, aiming for a comeback. This race is expected to be a close one, potentially leading to a runoff, and it comes at a time when Malawi is grappling with soaring inflation, a cost of living crisis, and severe fuel shortages. Among the 16 candidates, Mutharika stands out as a formidable challenger. The two rivals have a history, having faced off in the 2019 election, where Mutharika's victory was later nullified by the courts due to widespread irregularities. Chakwera won the subsequent rerun in 2020, but the public mood has since shifted, with 5 difficult years taking a toll on the largely rural nation already burdened by high poverty levels. As the polls closed on Tuesday, the counting began, and the results are expected within a week. Voters also chose the composition of parliament and local government representatives. While former President Joyce Banda and Vice President Michael Usi are also in the running, analysts predict a tight race between Chakwera of the Malawi Congress Party and Mutharika of the Democratic Progressive Party. The cost of living is a major concern, and it has exacerbated many other problems, said Patrick Holia, a 48-year-old father of 6 from Fiolo. He cast his vote for Mutharika in the former president's home district, hoping for a leadership that cares. For too long, politicians have ignored us, but today we hold the power, he added. These elections are the first since the chaotic 2019 polls, which led to a court-ordered redo. Chakwera, a former theology instructor and preacher, won the second election after Mutharika's victory was deemed fraudulent. This marked a historic moment in Africa, with only the second cancellation of a presidential election result and the first removal of an incumbent in a redo election. Since then, Malawi has faced escalating inflation, reaching 27% under Chakwera, and critical shortages of fuel and sugar. Long lines at gas stations have become a daily norm, while sharp price increases have made staple foods like corn unaffordable for many. Natural disasters, including Cyclone Freddy in 2023 and an El Niño-induced drought in 2024, have further devastated crops, worsening the plight of a population where over 80% live in rural areas and depend on agriculture. A military plane crash last year, which killed Vice President Saulos Chilima, brought Malawi into global headlines. Chilima was seen as a rising leader, and his death was a rare moment of international attention for the country. A runoff is highly likely in this election, given the changes to Malawian electoral law after the 2019 debacle. The new format requires the winner to secure more than 50% of the vote, and with no candidate expected to reach that threshold in the first round, a runoff between Chakwera and Mutharika is anticipated. Any runoff must be held within 30 days of the results announcement. Mutharika, with a long history in Malawian politics, served in the cabinet under his brother, former President Bingu wa Mutharika, and then as president himself from 2014 to 2020. Despite a court finding evidence of fraud in his 2014 win, including the use of correction fluid to alter vote tally sheets, Mutharika is making another bid for the presidency. Voter registration has seen a significant drop, with only 7.2 million people registered to vote, representing just 65% of eligible voters, down from 80% in 2019. The Malawi Electoral Commission is under intense scrutiny to ensure a free and fair election after the controversies of 2019. Malawi, a former British protectorate that gained independence in 1964, has a complex political history. It was ruled autocratically by Hastings Banda for 30 years until 1994, but has since developed into a relatively peaceful multi-party democracy over the last 2 decades. The outcome of this election will be a crucial step in Malawi's democratic journey, and the world watches with interest to see how this economically troubled nation will chart its course forward.